with your relationships that you have and those that you work with, these are conversation pieces, right? So let's talk a little bit about that, those that you're getting your business from, those relationships, these are repeat clients, right? Over and over and over, and they could go anywhere. Why is it, I don't want to state the obvious, but they love you, but they stick with Stewart and they don't go with one of the others for a reason. What do you think that reason is?
I think it's the consistency of the employees and people that I work with. I mean, they're phenomenal.
Yeah.
And in 18 years or almost 18 years being in the company, we have lost 3 people over 18 years in the financial scenario, all due to retirement.
Okay.
So once somebody comes in and works with us, they don't leave. And so, and we were very cognizant on exactly who we're looking for, and it has to be somebody that kind of fits the culture. And if there's not a cultural fit, it's just not worth it.
Well, that's a huge part of it. Culture, right? They say that about so many different organizations, right? And it starts from the top down, right? And so I'm presuming safely that the culture within Stewart Title is super strong, and it's not just your team, but because you can feel that energy, right? That's coming from corporate or internal emails or legal, or just when you feel the pressure coming in. So for you guys, would you agree that that's the case for your organization?
Yeah, and I would say it's really more not necessarily nationwide, because you have 690 offices, so it's not one shoe fits all.
Yeah.
But it's such a culture of getting stuff done, rolling up your sleeves, and getting things accomplished, and pretty much damming the torpedoes. Let's get this figured out.
Yeah.
We have great underwriters that kind of they can't be deal guys, but they're deal guys.
Yeah.
And gals. And so that's a big part of it, is when somebody else says, this is what we can't do, we figure out, well, we can do it with this exception, or we can do it doing it this way. So it's just a little bit different thought process.
Yeah.
And at my instruction 18 years ago, we were paid on incentive. It's eat what you kill. And most title companies are paid a high base and then a low incentive, and we're completely flip-flopped. And that's different than
Okay, so your lower base, higher incentive?
Lower base, higher incentive.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And is that a little different from industry?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And obviously someone who is a high performer loves it. I know that I would.
Yeah.
Right? And so I would say that probably attracts the type of talent that I would want to have on my team.
And
someone
some people
who wants
doesn't.
go eat what you kill.
Right.
Right? Some people don't like that, right?
Yeah.
Some people need the backstop, but you're an eat what you kill kind of a guy. Do they give you the opportunity to go to negotiate on your structure? If you say, hey, I want to be someone who's, I want it to be all about production versus somebody else.
Completely flip-flop how everybody was paid when I started.
Okay.
Now, I told everybody, I'm going to pay you exactly how you got paid last year. However, in the event that you go over this threshold, you will end up getting paid more.
Okay.
And I was the devil incarnate. People did not like that idea. They thought it was horrible. They thought this was the worst thing ever. I did tell them after the end of the year, if it was completely and utterly inequitable, that we'll revisit the comp structure and we'll look at it again.
Is this every year?
No.
Oh,
this was the first year.
The first year at Stewart.
At Stewart.
Okay.
And so everybody thought, complained. Now, month 3 and 4, this is 2005.
Okay.
Month 3 and 4, they're making more money they've ever made in their lives. And this is the greatest thing in the world.
Yeah.
And even 08, 9, 10, 11, the tougher years, they ended up making about a 1.05 to 1.15x of what they would have made if they had got a 2.5% raise every year.
Okay. And this is your team.
And this is the team.
Your team, not just you as the set.
Not just me, but this is the team.
Because a lot of times the team, they don't have that mindset, right? That's why they're not in sales. So they had to. It was a leap of faith to a degree.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And y'all haven't looked back on that.
Haven't looked back.
Yeah.
And now some people are making 3.5, 4x. Of what they would have made.
Okay.
Under the other scenario.
So if you had a younger version of yourself with XYZ title company and they were struggling in the current environment, right? Maybe they've been in the business a year, maybe they've been in the business 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years, right? What advice would you give them on what they need to do to dig in and to get to that next level?
In what capacity are they?
Volume.
Are they on the sales side? Or?
Yeah, they're on the sales side. Yeah, they're Bob Roberts Jr. with a fro,
with a big fro.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Right.
What I would tell them is to go and find whatever industry, not just the title business. I would find out who the number one person is in that industry, and I would do whatever I had to do to get in front of them and spend time with them.
Dude, you're going to be busy.
Yeah, well,
people are going to be
I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about
number two. Really, they need to go number two.
Yeah. It doesn't really matter what industry it is. Yeah. It's just I think you just find out in the mortgage industry. Go to Steve-O Johnson. Go to Steve-O and say, can I go and buy you a Matt's margarita, a knockout? Can I get you a knockout?
Get a knockout.
And you say, well, heck yeah, I'll do that.
Of course.
Yeah.
How can you say no to that?
You can't say no to that. Yeah.
Okay,
so get in front of Steve Johnson. And figure out exactly what you do, and then replicate it, and replicate it, and replicate it.
In related industries or in
any
non-related? Okay.
In any industry. Okay. No, I'm talking about in related industries.
Right.
Whoever, if you're a mortgage guy coming out and you just got laid off, figure out who the best person is, or if you're let's say you're in the 50th percentile and you want to get to the 25th percentile.
Yeah.
Find out who's doing better. Don't talk to the people that are in the that are in the lower quartile.
Yeah.
Don't talk to those
or even
people.
In your own.
Yeah.
Right.
Go find out who's doing the best and go replicate it.
Yeah.
And you can tweak it a little bit. You can make it your own.
Uh-huh.
But for the most part, if you find out who the best is, figure out what they're doing and just replicate it.
Uh-huh.
It's
really in any industry, any landscape. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then also what that does is that broadens your horizons on your relationship, on your spheres, on those within your core group, right? I'm assuming that to be the case, right?
Yeah.
But these could be, to your point, these could be cold calls. So let's say somebody does that and they call Bob Roberts, right? Maybe it's an unrelated industry, and they say let's say it's just cold right out of the freezer. How do you handle that when someone reaches out to you?
I talk to them.
You do?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll meet with them.
You will?
Yeah.
Does it need to be a Matt's knockout margarita to get you over?
Oh, there's some conditions. Yeah, make no mistake. There's conditions to it.
Yeah.
No, there's no conditions. I mean, I meet with them and I try to help them. I love being a mentor to whoever and trying to help them out.
Yeah.
And I do that same thing with my team.
And so with that, over the years, you've had that mentality, you've had that mindset, and you've been really good at that, right? Because your relationships across spectrums, whether it's mortgage or real estate or title or development, I mean, you have a pretty broad stroke on those within your sphere. How do you manage that? Because you are one of the best at, my experience has been, at follow-up, at touching, at dripping, whatever you want to call it, right? So how do you find the time in the day to manage that experience and stay consistent?